Alright, we are recording, and, well, here, let me pull back. It's going medieval, because it got a major update recently. Key was originally provided by, pretty sure it was Tinsley PR for Irregular Corporation. Yeah, the contact for that. And yeah, I got a major update, so that's why I had this open. New features in this update, some structure variations, which, yeah, we'll probably see those. Seeds and saplings, though, that's different. Beekeeping, that's different. Orchards, that's different. Ice blocks, I'm not sure how significant that's going to be. Quality life improvements. New resources. Heat source refueling, that is new. And what we might run into that, and new music track. I'm not going to resume, I'm going to do a new game. And I don't really have much to talk about. But I do want to quickly say, I'm not going to be surprised if this crashes. OBS has been acting so weird for me as I've been working on Dying Light 2. Like, it had some serious problems. I want to... The game has crashed some, although a driver update fixed that for the most part until the other day it crashed. But that again, it was OBS that crashed first. The other day. So... yeah, I don't know. OBS is just being weird. Hopefully it's not going to be weird here and it's just... it's just OBS and it's not Dying Light. Yeah, and for those of you that don't remember, I like playing this game on PC. So, Going Medieval is a... real-time survival? I guess would be one way to put it. You're managing a colony after the plague in Europe. Trying to, bring it back. And... I think Hillside is the one that's basically in the middle. Let's go meet. These are actually looking pretty good. A wicked nun? Yeah, I need to get a drink of water too. Huh. Okay. Oh, and A. Ooh, that's gonna be a little complicated. This guy is aligned to the other religion of the other two. Anyway. But yeah, I like peaceful, just, the management stuff. That is something, like, even for large 4X games, though I will admit I haven't really touched one for a while, I like that. I like the whole, just, like, let me build out the civilization. Let me build out the cult. Let me do that. I don't like saying, like, that I want to build out the empire because I don't necessarily want it to be an empire, because so many games you have that option. There. And... first things, let's allow all that. Let's also just see. Like, who should get some of this stuff? I need to remember where some of it is. Okay. Phil... Really? Okay. She... get the longbow. He's an even better shot. Short bow. So you take sword. I know it's peaceful, but there's still hunt. Alright. Now, let's... I'm just trying... Well, let me get some of the stuff looked at and figured out. This is... okay, just rock soil, because I like building down. I know it's silly, but it's what I like. Yeah, let's... down those. Alright, that is true. Okay, so I like building underground ever since I figured out how to actually do that. There. And let's see, who's gonna be best for that? 7, 9, 7. Okay. So highest priority for you. Although let's there. Yeah. And 10 is crap, I don't remember what 10 is. Oh, hang on, I also yeah, let's put down storage zone. How about for now, right? And you, well, yeah. Okay, so quickly, I should try to. You need to tell them where to put stuff, so that's what I'm doing there. Can build floors. Let's do that. I'm gonna shrink this, and I will explain why very soon. Because some things like books degrade. If they're just on the ground. So I want to do that. How much clay do I have? It's over here. Okay, this is clay. Why is it not listing? Okay, now it is. Oh, hey, I need. So that way they actually get. Okay, so with that done, let's. Yeah. We're gonna. Better that way. I want them going in strips just because it's a little bit safer in case they get stuck. That is something that they fixed with a patch a while ago, but it's still just what I mean. So which one? Seriously, what? Oh yeah, that's right. So we actually have good. But I need to do some research first. So what has changed with some of this is well, the saplings. That's one of the things that they have altered. And I don't want there. So with sapling, you now need saplings to plant trees. Previously, you basically could just do whatever. 6, 0, 13. Oh, wow. Yeah, you're going. Actually, that's not the right that I want there, but whatever. So previously, you could basically just say, hey, put trees down here, or put any crop down, and they'll do it. Now they've actually put in the whole, no, you need to have, hey, I want to, there we go. I just want that on there. There we go. See, and that's the variations that I was talking about too. Oh. So I can do things like this. So, oh. That's not facing the right way. There we go. We can do that, and now it will have a different look too. Yeah. So it makes it look like it might be possible to control some stuff there a little better. Alright, why can it not be read? It shouldn't be for that. Oh. There we go. There. Yeah, there's no reason. Oh, wait. No. I know why. I know. It's stupid. But it's exactly. Okay. Deconstruct. Wait. Construct that. Yep. Ah. That's... Oh, you got it. Alright. So... what happened is when deconstructed, it decided to put the pile for it down there. So it's in the way. But the problem is it's on a different level. I need the stairway to get down. Yeah. I mean, arguably, it shouldn't be demanding that you approach it only from the one side. It's like that is not how that should work. One of those, quality of life things that's like, yeah, I think you can do that better, Foxy Voxel. Alright, now I also need to remember, how do I... There's a way to set place as home. Or does it do that? It might... No, it should... You said it. It's been a while. Right, she'll wake up. There. See? I don't know. Well, yeah, I guess I can... down beds for now. Oh, yeah. I'm forgetting about that. Trying to remember, because there is some trick to it. I need this stuff actually done. I can never oh, here it is. Cook. Alright. Yeah, why are you guys doing that and not working on it? Not enough allowed. How are there not enough? There. I'm actually going to push these two down. So the lower the number, the higher the priority. Which I remember when I wrote the review for the initial preview that I got in for this. I criticized that and how, for one thing, I think it should be a 5+1. Well, wait, no, it is 5+1, right? Yeah, because you can just disable. But that it should be like just an. I think there's like a dozen things here. You should have a dozen that you should be able to do, so you don't have them competing. Because it gets weird and messy, and especially when it's with some of this stuff, you don't actually have a good understanding of, well, why is this and that. Like harvesting and cutting plants. Arguably, because it's about getting the resource from it, cutting down a tree would be harvesting. You're harvesting the tree, but no, it's undercut plant. And that's not something that's readily shown. Anyway, I need to get the mining done. Oh, that's part of the reason why. And let also get some harvesting done in there. So that I have food. Oh yeah, now that I have that. Perfect. So now I have access to agriculture. So I can do cabbage seeds, which I will do, but I can also do a maple tree. Because I do have a maple tree seed. Well, sapling. Let's put that there. Cabbage. Yeah, I mean, we can like have that there. I also want to deconstruct that. Put it there. Okay, good. Fine. What? Please succeed at building. Good. There. There. Okay. Nope. I didn't press them. There. At least it does look like you can actually now change, well, that stuff at least in place. Which is good, because it's not what it was. What have I got to talk about? Oh yeah, that, which I've actually not seen too terribly much about. Sony is buying Bungie. Which I'm certain a lot of people are, going to view that in the lens of, because Microsoft can purchase Activision. Well, it's going to purchase. Going to be reviewed. Possibly the Bungie purchase will as well. Personally, I I don't know if there's really so much to be concerned about with that. I think I do actually want to do that. Just as far as I don't think it would be in anyone's best interest, and I think Sony knows that, to make some of that stuff exclusive. I think Microsoft also knows it's not a good idea to make some of Activision's stuff exclusive. Some, yeah, I mean, let's face it, that is going to happen. But I don't think it's going to be quite the same. Okay, let's do that, because I can't actually put it down there. Those aren't supposed to. Well, that's fine. They can sleep. Alright. 7. Wow, this. Alright. Oh yeah, I do need to down this stuff. I'm rotating the camera, I'm not rotating the object. Oh, nice. When did... Relocate was not always a thing. So that's very good to see. Ah, that must be a bug. I mean, it can't be anything else, really. Now with that done, actually, that, but also start digging down. Which, no, I don't need it. Okay, let's also look at some of the. Sure. Those that. Oh, okay. That is actually. There we go. We have variations. No. Alright. And this is 6. Now 10. I have built these before. Is all I can really say. So what I'm gonna do is these structure beams, these wooden beams, that's what you need to hold things up above. They can go 10 long. So I can go from here to there with one, and I'll also do from there to there. And at some point I also need to windows here. I don't like building a structure and then taking it down. So yeah, they're stuck outside. Although I actually do need to build. Well, I don't know. Like this stuff is Well, it'll hold up for a while. Let me still. Alright. Oh. This okay. Especially since it looks like it's more or less free. So yeah, with the no, I didn't really do that. Some sort of traveler, apparently somebody looking to sell stuff. Ah, I don't know what I do with. Okay. What is that? Isn't gonna be quite good. Ooh. Those are mechanical parts. I don't want to get rid of them. That that 287. That might be closer. Yeah, that way I get some new seed. Which I do need. Alright. Well, you know, here, if we do that. Beets and flax. Yeah. I want to clear out this area. Okay. Oh boy. There is a lot. So at ripe I get 6 cabbage and 1 seed. At flowering I get 3 cabbage, 2 seeds, and then at going to seed, 10 seed cabbage. Basically it makes sense to try to have some stuff that have some places that it's just for seed. Where do we want that? How about there? And this will be going to seed. So that those 5 will give me 50 then. Okay? Kind of deal with the flax. That's fine. I don't mind that I'm not going to have enough. Oh, wait, hang on. That's... Okay. Yeah, the same kind of deal. So flax is just gonna flax. You know what? Oh, wait, can I do that? Nope. I'm gonna have to cancel it. Then expand that. Okay. So how many is that? 26. There. Now it's 30. I don't know. I just felt like making it round. Oh, no. There. I want to also set up flat. There. There we go. I got lots of things scheduled. Okay. That built there. Wait, what? Should be able to do it. Yeah, it is. I don't know why it seemed to turn red for me. Alright. But that's very good. Very good. No. Alright, there. Now, this is going to be just for books and have a high priority. And then this actually destroyed. There's all that. And because now they're gonna be in the best place. Alright. Oh, and I did not even realize. 9 up 4. That's fine. Oh, I have research. Alright, furniture actually would be good, and, well, so the... Yeah, let's go. Let's make this area more for store. But I do need to get like stuff actually. Alright, so we now have wood. No, yeah. Welcome to come. Fortunately, I have no idea where settlement is on the map. Oh, right here. Okay. Such as it is, it's still settlement. Settlement of mole people, but, you know, it's something. What? Oh, wait, no. I don't know. Actually, let me... Oh, no, it won't interfere. Okay. There. Walls can take food. Basically, I want to have anything that can decay there. Carcasses can. I'm not going to worry about human. Hay can. it is annoying to me that there isn't a just option of everything that can decay. I assume C will decay. It makes sense. Oh, I should also down. All right. Wasn't sure if there would be like an expand on that. There. Linen does decay. See. Yes, high priority. Oh yeah, and that's right, I have this guy to deal with now. Let's see. Wow. Very good at tail. I don't need to build my defense. I really do need to figure out food. There we go. No. You can go hunting. That's... Wait. That's not right. I told her to pick up the longbow. Why did she not? Oh, I'll bet it, just didn't take. The changing of the character selection. That. Oh, perfect. Red currant there. So we have mushroom. Should have been focused earlier. Okay, good. There's also stuff there. Problem. Yeah, you have a bed. No? Settlers idle. It's good at mining. I can do more. A lot more. There, you can have all that mine. Is that all? Yes, it is. I don't see anything. What are you doing? Why is the carcass not being picked up? We can take that. We can use that. Why are you sleeping outside? Clearly we have a bed. Alright, I guess I'm gonna look at what other news I have. Actually, the only other thing I wrote down was this. The update for this. Now I'm just trying to think what else there is. I don't really want to talk about Dying Light 2. I will say this. I am enjoying it. I really am. I look forward to basically getting through it because day job does take my time away. No, it's... I have been enjoying it. I don't want to say too much more because I don't want to ruin the point of the review. But, yeah, I'm happy. I'm quite happy. I guess one fair question is it better than the original? Is it better than Dying Light? Yeah. Yeah, it is. So far. I'm enjoying it that much. I can't comment to story, but gameplay, yeah. It's quite good there. Just trying to think. Would there be any issue with that? I guess it does have some... There are some gameplay aspects to it that I don't necessarily care for, but I think there's also some gameplay aspects that's like, well, like it hasn't improved enough to really make me happy from the original, but it's not bad. Like just some of the parkour is still a little awkward. But a lot of it is like awkward in the same way the original was, so not exactly something. So I need... Okay. So I can go one more out here before it's a problem. Stability. Yeah, so that's it. Oh, because I moved it. Alright, how much will I need for this? 20. I do not know how anyone can be idle. There are tasks to be done. They're just not doing. There. Well, we'll just look to see. What can he do? What is he actually good at? Animal husbandry, harvest, growing. Well, he's not actually good at growing, but he can. And he likes to. Do that too. Carpentry. Turn that up. Forever. Forever. Okay, so I can also do... Yeah, and I can do that. That. Red currant you can use for drink. Oh, I need seed for it though? Oh, but yeah. No, that's it. Red currant is its own. I remember seeing that in the past. Yeah, I don't know what she actually... You haven't slept on the ground for so long. You're not in any pain. Yeah, I do need to figure out that. Oh, That's right, it's not something you need to research, but it is something you need to do. I still have no idea what the point is of the tables. Besides decoration. And why are people sleeping outside? That counts as inside, and they're just, nope, sleeping outside. Now we can do that quickly. You want entertainment? Fine. You can do that. Yeah, I did forget that. And I was also talking about what other stuff is there. Further, greater rumors, additional rumors, that AMD will be releasing a 68, well, not necessarily 68, but 6000 X150 series, basically a refresh to the 6000 series of GPU with faster memory. Probably also some refinements to the GPU cores, if that happens. I don't really know what to think about that. It makes sense to do, but they've also doubled down, well, repeated, I want to say, that we will see the 7000 series of GPUs later this year. So I'm not really sure what the purpose would be to, why are these not in? You know what? There. Top priority, hauling. Because there is no reason for that to be out here. All food is supposed to be here. Yeah, none there, and there aren't any other locations. You know what? I'm sick of this. You're gonna actually start doing what I'm telling you to do. Oh, it's night, obviously. But it still is. Why are they sleeping outside? They're upset about sleeping outside. There's beds right there. And they're like, nope, not gonna do it. No, stability is constant. Oh, duh, because... You know what, I'm gonna do that so I can get the nice one. Yeah, this makes no sense. They're idle. I have so many tasks for them. And just none of them are doing. I do not know what's going on. Yeah, and they are supposed to be working right now. Here. And you know what? I'm going to start taking away some of their time. You are not deprived of religious activities. It's right here and right here. Oh, wait. Seriously? That would do it. The stairway collapsed and I didn't realize. The way stairs are handled is actually really annoying. Just how you are able to place things, and that's been the case. And also how this level system works. It's just hard to see clearly what's going on. But that explains why nothing's being done. There we go. I feel stupid for that, but... Nope, wait. Oh, no, that... So I just put wood underneath that set of stairs. Dumping stockpile, how about... that? Nice and away. Okay, saying running out of material. Let's get more material. Yeah, so going back, because I know I'm getting distracted by the game. So yeah, with a refresh to the series, the concern I would have is just pricing. Because, I mean, it's like, okay, yeah, you may make it better, but pricing is so ridiculous that, you know, what you actually can achieve there. It was also interesting, I saw people talking about, you know, the rumors for the 7000 series, and that it's supposed to be on a smaller node, which, if I remember correctly, TSMC going from N7 to their N6 or 5 is actually a much larger leap than it sounds. But I'm trying... Like, the current N7, 7nm stuff, is like first generation. So, like, even going to N6, which is supposed to be like a refinement to it, is a dramatic refinement, I think. I think that's what I remember seeing some stuff about before. I actually do start. sapling at that point. So. Good. There. That should all be fine. Let's also get to constructing these. I don't need them anymore. I do want to move stockpile stuff onto that lower level and have manufacturing on this first level. But yeah, so it's basically the extremely high prices to graphics cards at the moment. It's leaving a sour taste in some people's mouths. It's like there's going to be a lot of people that are just not going to bother with it. That are just so tuned off that they all either just can get the cheapest thing that they can find instead of spending the money on the better stuff. But also, like going to APUs and such. Or going to laptops or going to consoles. Now, true, with consoles, AMD actually still has things going for them there. But, it's just, you gotta be careful right now, I feel, with some of it. That you can't decide that, oh, there are people willing to pay so much for these GPUs, let's take advantage of that and charge more. It's like, no, that's gonna do more harm than good. But it is also the whole, well, how much does how much does MSRP matter? Whoop. Well. No. No. So yeah, I mean, it's like that would be my concern, because you don't want to just abuse the situation, because the situation is so extraordinary that to abuse it is going to do far more harm than good. Yeah, so it's it is something that does worry me. And that also goes for NVIDIA. I mean, now true, we do have reason to believe that they're exactly going to abuse it, 3090 Ti. But it still is, it's like that's not what they should be doing. They need to be conscious of that. But one rumor that I saw concerning the 7000 series, going back, and this is how the whole node size matters. The idea that that RDNA 3 from AMD is supposed to be enough of a leap, even over RDNA 2, that the mid-range might be actually at the level of the current top end, which would be impressive. Who knows? Maybe that'll be true. Who knows? I'm not doing... I guess I might as well put that down. are losing blood. Well, oh, hang on. But yeah, so if that is the case, and it's also because they're supposed to be making the move then to a chiplet design, which may with a chiplet design, you may have the ability for better economics of scale. So you could actually end up seeing pricing come back into check with that, depending. Because it's also more expensive node, and depending the manufacturing, well, not the manufacturing, the assembly, the package is going to be more expensive. That's something that is a remains to be seen kind of thing. But it's sort of like how Vega with the HBM, part of what made those GPUs expensive was that they they need this extra step of combining the just realized rabbit. But yeah, it took a bit more for them to be able to make use. Well, it took a bit more to actually make the GPUs, because suddenly you needed to combine the GPU with the HBM. Well, combining an I/O die with GPU compute dies, and the pattern from how long ago, where there was also like a bar that went across them that held the memory. I'm saying it's going to be a much more complex design, so it's not going to be cheap to manufacture. Yeah, it's hard to say, but hopefully it'll be at least a good start and a good effort at things. And it's also, hey, if they're able to make the dies much smaller, that means that yields are a lot higher. I saw something concerning like the Lovelace, NVIDIA's next GPU, that you might see it being 1,000 square millimeters, which is huge. I mean, that is absolutely massive. But that's also, the at that size, that's going to take a tremendous amount of power. It also, the yields will be crap at that. And that's true for anyone, basically. That's not about NVIDIA. If AMD tried it, if Intel tried it, the yields would be crap. Because there'd be such a high number of defects. You would need to be very, very diligent in designing around that, which does exist. Crap, I'm trying to remember the name of it. Is it Cerberus? There are some wafer scale designs out there for, I think it's AI kind of stuff, but literally wafer scale. Like one chip is the size of a wafer. But those were designed so that, yes, there are defects on there, but it can route around them. But that makes them, much more difficult to design. Well, now certainly NVIDIA has the money. Beyond any doubt, they have the money to handle that. But that doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Okay, that's... I haven't... See, I've got beat seats. Why does it seem like nobody wants? No, that's red. What does that even mean? I mean, just what botany level do we need for it? Also, where is botany? There's grow. Is that botany? I'm glad that we have, by the way. Oh, good. Yep. So now I can start making the clay into other things. And you know what? You can be the one to borrow. Alright. Yeah, I want food. Give me more food. I don't yet. I don't even know what that is. I'll take 5. Give me more beef. That. Alright, what can I give up? Hey, it's not interesting. A whole bunch of stuff that could have to give up. Is that food? Drop the. Well, that could actually still work. Do that. Come on, really? You have no wiggle room. It's 15 cents. That's cabbage seeds, right? Right. You know what? No, there. I'm not using that stuff. That's linen. I'm not really using that either. We're gonna do that. Give me back my seed. Sure, take a talent. There. I'm getting additional beet seeds, carrot seeds, and flax seeds. I'm giving up linen cloth, tallow, and mechanical. Alright. Go to sea. End it up there. Yeah, so it will be very interesting actually when you stop and think about it. If Lovelace is going to these massive sizes, but if AMD with, I don't know what the code name is. Well, RDNA 3 I guess is the code name, but there might be another one for it. You know, with that, if they do actually go to smaller dies, or at least the chiplet design, you could see a very interesting battle between. As far as, I mean, it would be, closest thing I'd think of would be probably Epic versus Xeon when AMD went to the Zen 2 design, which was chip. I mean, technically the Zeppelin dies of a Zen and Zen Plus, technically those were chiplet in a way, but not quite as modular. So that's not a perfect comparison, but it is just, that is potentially the closest in that you still had with Xenon a single monolithic die, and a big one at that, versus an IO die that was 14 nanometer, and then no, it was 8. Yeah, it was 8 of the compute chiplets on there. And I mean, it was like bad because AMD had performance advantages there, but it was also just they could, you know, sell so much more cheap. I'm actually gonna, well, I'm gonna make But yeah, I mean, that could prove very interesting with that. And that also could be significant as far as bringing better pricing back to GPUs as well. Much better pricing. Yeah, it will be good whenever we eventually do hit the point of having price wars between AMD and Nvidia again. It's gonna be a while, yes, but it should come to be a thing. All right, I don't know how long have I been going. Holy crap! I had no idea I was going this long. There's actually still one thing I wanted to do yet, which is I want to put in torches. I guess I've gotten used to the long videos for Dying Light 2. Though I do try to cap those at 2 hours. It makes processing so much easier. You really don't know. Oh my god. The difference that makes. So yeah, there is now fuel here as you can take sticks, wood, or coal. Which actually means then I want to have another one. Another kiln. Boom. And this one I'll set for making coal. Actually, yeah, brewing is better to make here. I just want to get the boom stand made, then I will save and stuff. Wow, yeah, I did not realize how long I've been going. I mean, part of it is me just remembering how to play again. But yeah. Yeah, it will definitely be interesting the next round of GP. Beyond any doubt. Just because this current product cycle has just so hurt the consumer base with how expensive it's been, how hard to get it's been. Yeah. That. No. Um. And that. Good. That's a steward thing. There. Yeah, I honestly just lost track of time for this. But yeah, just going back to the GPUs, it will be very interesting because there's basically going to need to be a reset for some of the pricing stuff, but how are you going to achieve that? Because even if AMD and NVIDIA are able to satisfy demand normally, will you see scalpers trying to abuse the system? Because I mean, I'll be honest, I could definitely see some still like because it's like, hey, we got these bots that can instantly buy up the entire supply. Why don't we do and then sell at a higher price? And finding ways to solve that is not necessarily that easy. I mean, at least with some of the cryptocurrency stuff, that seems to be slowing down. But I mean, that's it. Always seems to come back up, and it's yeah. Cryptocurrency is so weird. A lot of the stuff around that is so weird. Like the blockchain stuff makes perfect sense. It's a very interesting, fascinating, and powerful technology that can be used in so many ways. But cryptocurrencies seem by their nature to be designed to be as inefficient with blockchain as it can be, because the value comes from how difficult the process is. So you make it more difficult to make the value higher. But then you're also, making it so that you need the higher end hardware, so that's where the pressure is, the demand pressure is, and you're also then using more electricity. So, yeah, because, I mean, there are people that are dead set against cryptocurrencies just because of the impact of how much power they take to produce. But there's also blockchain stuff. I remember seeing probably 2 years ago, maybe 3, IBM working on like Internet of Things level blockchain stuff for tracking like materials from rainforests or any forest really, any natural source, all the way through to the drug, to the pill you're taking. And that was going to be an Internet of Things implementation, in meaning that very low power to do all that blockchain, because it can be done very efficiently. But for that's the kind of process that tracking material, it's meant to be efficient because there's no benefit to it being costly. But with cryptocurrencies, there is. With the NFT stuff, there probably is as well. There's also NFTs. Oh my god. How I've seen it explained before is like one of those, wow, this is truly a stupid thing, where you're not actually purchasing the thing. Like you don't own that image. You own a receipt saying that you own the image. But there's nothing that actually protects the image from being duplicated. It's just this receipt that you have. And it's like, it's really screwed up, because I think I saw some stuff where there are people that's like, he's an artist and make an image. And somebody else then sells the NFT. Sells the token for it, sells the receipt for it, for thousands of dollars more, at least potentially, than the image is worth. And the artist doesn't get any of that. It's a stupid system. That is. I mean, it seems like just another way people thought of to try to separate fools from their money. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense why there is such backlash against some of that stuff. I guess there could easily be some things that, no, I guess in one way, but that's just coming back to blockchain. I was just thinking, like, if you could use NFT on like a Steam library, so tracking precisely who owns a game license. So that way you can then like sell the game, a used digital game. You could do that. But that's just a blockchain kind of thing. That's not necessarily a special NFT kind of concept there. It's just basically saying, hey, I'm transferring this over here, broadcasting it out to the larger blockchain network, and now, yes, you've lost access to it, and everybody knows it. Because that's kind of how blockchain for that stuff is. You put the thing out there, and it's like, okay, now these many authoritative copies of the blockchain say, okay, you lost that, they gained this, and then that's how it sticks. But yeah, and I think there are some services that actually do enable that, but Steam isn't one of them. And I don't know if they ever will. I was like, why would they? I mean, they'd be better off bringing back the deep Steam sales, because why should they make it that you can transfer a game from one account to another? that you can sell a used game. Because I could believe that even with them taking a cut, they'd make more money if they just from the sales, where it's like, we're just selling you another copy of the game. That probably would make them a hell of a lot more money. But they'd have to go back to having the deep Steam sales that they have not had for a while. Back to when you had the flash deals, do they have, was it weekly or daily sales that they would have during like the main sales of the year, Christmas sale, the summer sale? It's like they'd have to go back to that model, I think, to certainly make more than if they were to do used digital games. Don't know. But it still is. I think that their business model would say, yeah, it's better for us to just sell fresh copies than try to move around old ones. Alright, so I've definitely talked longer than I needed to. I will say this, I'm enjoying going medieval a little bit more with this. I like how the agriculture seemed to be more self-managing, like setting when things are collected, when things are harvested, and being able to control what is what. But there are still some things where it's like, no, you need to have a perishable stockpile and non-perishable stockpile. Just as defaults, as things you can select. Why that isn't there, that should be an obvious quality of life change. Because there are some things like the clay, the limestone, ores, coal. I think wood might also be. I'm not sure about sticks. But there are things that they don't decay. But there are other things like hay, food, the seeds. I assume I didn't actually look. The books, those all decay. So it's obvious that you should have that, and they still don't. I mean, it's weird. It is so weird because I still have this comparison in my mind, and it's just stuck there because I did the preview, and I think the review, the early access reviews of this and The Last Spell knew each other. This felt like it had a lot of content, but not all the systems really figured out. So they didn't have the foundation of the systems. That's how it felt to me then. It still kind of feels like that now. Not completely. It's definitely getting better. But it felt like, they're still figuring out the systems, but they have a lot of content here. The systems are what give a game depth, though, in my opinion, more so than the content itself. Content gives you time, definitely. But the systems are what are interesting and what engage you. Whereas The Last Spell, when its initial launch had much less content, but its systems were already very strong and had depth to them. I mean, and that's expanded. They've improved upon the systems. They've refined those because you're going to as you develop more, but they've been adding new content too. So it just, like, that felt a stronger foundation, a stronger system foundation, and then they built up on that, refining it, improving it on top, and expanded out. This, it felt like it was already out some, but they're still trying to build up the system. It is getting there, though. But yeah, I would want to set up some things with, like, okay, we can now have it where for the plots you put down, you can harvest at certain times. How about we have the tool, like, only cut down mature trees. Make that a tool option so that you don't need to go through individually to pick them. Maybe also be able to set it up where it's like, hey, this guy, hey, yeah, actually that would work. Where you set like a whole area to, maybe you actually can do that. Set a whole area for trees. And it's like, no, don't plant here. Just whenever one is needed, harvest. Just go in there and cut it down. The priority system, I still think needs to be changed. Like, it shouldn't start at 3. It shouldn't start in the middle so you can turn stuff down. You should start everything at the lowest priority, and you can tune up. I feel that would be much clearer. Then, yes, you can go up and down. Also, the ability to, like, temporarily push some things up, not, oh my god, all those categories. I think it is a dozen categories. And the names aren't necessarily clear. Like, why would I necessarily think that harvesting a tree, cutting down a tree, is cut plants? I'm sorry, it still is. To me, I think of cut plants as like harvesting the red currant, the beets, the carrots. I think of that, although some of that would fall under harvest. But cutting the flax and getting the hay bales, that's cutting. I don't think of cut plant as chopping down a tree. To me, that's a whole nother thing. That's a lumberjack, not a farmer. And just I feel like some of that stuff should be reshuffled, making it clearer for what certain things are. It's yeah, I do feel that is some stuff that could use some attention. But it's also the whole, why do we have 12 different things there, but only 5+1 priority levels? That has never made any sense to me. And also, you should be able to change the order for some of the stuff too, because like, why is haul the last thing? Hauling is so important if you want to manage your good, and that's the last. There's definitely a number of quality of life changes that I would, and who knows, maybe they will come. I hope they do come, especially because I do kind of have the plan of when the game releases, like to 1.0. Trying to review this, same thing for the last spell, and I think those are the only 2 early access games I still have like on the list that I'm doing this with. Alright, yeah, as I already said about 6 minutes ago, I'm talking enough. So I shall stop now and see you next time.